What's up, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Game, your one-stop shop for everything cool in video games. I'm one of your hosts, Drew Beausoleil. Don't forget to head to InsideTheGame.ca, where there you can be a part of the show. Now, coming up on today's episode, we are jammed to the rim, full of reviews. And of course, one last Game On segment. Who's gonna pull it out? Who gets to keep that beard? Let's find out. But first, here's the Inside Scoop.
So if you guys have seen that Death Stranding video, we finally got it. A little bit more explanation and a whole lot more questions. We finally have a release date though, November 8th, this year.
It's all to safeguard the continued independence of Edgenut City. They want the UCA to leave him be.
So we got our first glimpse from Frozen Bytes Starbase, this huge sci-fi MMO game that's coming with probably the craziest engine I've ever seen, with a fully destructible environment, thousands of players being able to connect online. This game looks fantastic. Check out the trailer. The smallest building unit in Starbase is a single bolt, allowing you to build, repair, and modify spaceships, stations, and devices as you wish. Explore the vast universe to discover stations, social hubs, and new raw materials. Arrange an exploration mission with friends and find out what the universe really has to offer. Travel to an asteroid field to mine raw materials and salvage different minerals from broken ships. Trade materials at training stations or steal from other people.
Electronic Arts has announced their live stream schedule for EA Play 2019 with over 3 hours of content this year. The live stream kicks off with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, followed by Apex Legends, Battlefield 5, FIFA 20, Madden NFL 20, and The Sims 4.
But now, there are 3 rules to survive. Don't stand out.
And if you attend EA Play, make sure to check out all the cool fan events they have in there. Actually, they've got some cool Apex Legends gear you can check out and some Jedi Fallen Order photo opportunities.
Ubisoft is bringing us a rewards program for Ghost Recon Wildlands. Something I didn't expect, to be honest. Kind of thought the game was finished, but they're keeping us around because they're bringing rewards going into Ghost Recon Breakpoint. You have till September 27th to finish all the challenges for Ghost Recon Wildlands and collect your rewards.
Alright, PlayStation fans, you got a new cool survival game, DayZ. As of May 29th, it launched with a really cool live-action trailer. So this game's been out since 2013, been completely overhauled and rehauled and whatever. This game you have to check out. It's only $50. The developer said that they're going to be constantly updating it. Check it out.
You are one of the few immune to the virus, but that's where your luck runs out. Washed up along the shore, you must face the harsh and unforgiving open world you now find yourself in, with only one goal: survive as long as possible by any means necessary.
So did that new Borderlands 3 trailer have you going? Did you miss out on Sonic? Now the PlayStation Plus is bringing Sonic Mania and Borderlands The Handsome Jack Collection for the free games next month. All right, Nate, let your rage fuel your success.
Yes.
So this week we got a chance to play a lot of Rage 2, which was a good time for me. I'll just say it
Yes.
right off the bat. I played a lot of Rage 1, and that game was so undervalued at the time. I feel bad for the developers because they had a gem that nobody really realized. And other games kind of came out in the same window, kind of overshadowed it, and it didn't get the chance it deserved. So now I'm glad we're back here with Rage 2.
For me, like, I actually never played Rage. See, perfect example, because it was just overshadowed by all these games. But and when I first heard about Rage 2 coming out, I was kind of thrown off a little bit. I was like, Rage 2, do people actually want this? Was the first one any good?
Yeah, how do you get a sequel out of a game that wasn't really that big? That's what I'm interested in.
Exactly, but then I saw just one trailer, and I was like, oh my goodness, okay, this is something I could get into.
Oh, yeah.
And now after playing it for
Hours.
like a lot of hours, I friggin' love this game, man.
Oh, I'm so deep into it now because I'm going across the whole map. The map is giant. As it was in the first game, the map is very big in the second one. And they do a little bit better at giving you some direction right off the start to get you kind of out there. And then once you're out there, there's things like arcs and weapons and stuff that you're trying to find.
Encampments, there's all sorts of stuff. That map
bandits
is filled.
everywhere. So you're cutting down bandits, and that kind of serves as the progression tree in a way. So I like this game. One of my favorite things about it is that they prioritize the exploring because you need to explore to find perks, points, experience. There's
And
a lot of
even
different
weapons
points.
and
Yeah, there's a lot of different items that you need to progress through. And it gets a little muddy at the start because you're not sure what you spend on what. But several hours into that game, it's very clear. You have these Feltrite crystals that you're shooting. You're getting them from people. You're breaking things open. It just kind of serves as the regular experience. Then you use that to buy tiers. You have to put a slot, a special item for whatever you're upgrading into that slot. So it gets a little complicated there, but it's not so bad. There's items for armor. There's items for weapons. There's items for vehicles. And then you're kind of just buying everything else with experience to get your points in there.
yeah, like it sounds convoluted, but really, it's really not too bad. Like once you've kind of just sift through it just a bit, it's like, okay, I just need to
I find
grind out
it's-
these parts. Or
Yeah,
this thing.
Or I have to meet this guy and open up this tree. So there's several different ways that I like how they did it. They have people that you need to speak to, and they give you your suit upgrades, your kind of combat-oriented things, and then you have weapons that you find in the arcs, and you have to upgrade them too. And then you have vehicles you have to upgrade. So there's a lot of upgrading, but it's just as complicated as it needs to be to have all of these components into it. It doesn't feel dry. It doesn't feel like you have nothing to do.
It doesn't feel overwhelming.
Not exactly, no, because you
I mean,
only
if
get
you want to
some
upgrade
things.
everything, it's like, okay, I'm gonna be grinding for a while.
It's
but
gonna take
that's
some time.
But I mean, that's kind of fair. It's like you gotta pick and choose the few things, or few guns, or few vehicles, or whichever that you want to focus on. So with the ammo, you have to go and buy ammo, and there are a few different settlements throughout the map.
You can tell they spent a lot of time in the cities to
Yes.
kind of prop them up. Each city is very unique. There's a couple different locations you can fast travel to. I guess that's what I mean by a city. because that's where all the NPCs are that aren't going to shoot you. And there's a lot of interpersonal stories. So you can talk to all
there's
these people.
Almost every single person, it feels like you can pretty much have a conversation with at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually pretty, like, usually interesting or funny or ridiculous.
Yeah, these characters are really strange, and that's what makes you laugh. It's a really good time that way. I like how they fleshed out the communities and stuff. That was what Rage 1 was very known for, was their time spent in the city building, and they kind of cut corners in other places, I feel. In this game, they nailed the city building, and then they didn't cut any corners. They kept going with the game. It has that quality the whole way through, and it doesn't feel empty at all like the first one kind of did.
No, not at all, man. And this game is friggin' wicked, man.
It's hard to not get excited about it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of really cool things to this game. One thing I want to mention specifically, when you're a death machine and you're just cleaning house, the music will pick up and continue with you. And it's very Doom-esque, where you just let loose. You hit rage mode, which is a power that just lets you keep shooting. Yeah, overdrive. Should have called it rage mode, I think.
Yeah, they should have.
Yeah, overdrive, whatever. You just crushed everyone in your path, and then the music just keeps chugging, and it's this heavy stuff. And it just brought me back to Doom, and I love
man,
that
yes, the soundtrack, they nailed it with this one, man.
Not just the music, explosions and everything, the guns.
Oh yeah.
The vehicles, all the engines and stuff. Like, they spent a lot of time in the details of this game.
Oh man, the not only the sound of the explosions and everything, but the looks. This game is beautiful, man. I really, really like the art style that they chose with it.
Yeah, it's a pseudo-realism, but it's close enough to realistic that I have a 4K and I'm on a 1X, and it looks beautiful.
Oh,
you can see all the textures. Everything's so gorgeous. So there's a lot of aspects to this game, but if we're gonna wrap it up and put a big number on it, what are you thinking, Nate?
Well, man, I've spent a lot of hours playing this, and I'm gonna definitely continue to do so. So, honestly, man, I'm gonna give it a 9.5. I really like this game.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that, and I have to agree with you. I'm right up there with a 9.5. It's got everything I wanted in it.
Rage 2 is an awesome action game, an intense shooter that does a lot of things right, and a great sequel. We really enjoyed this one.
You're good to go.
So swiftly, too. You surely are proudly successful.
Welcome to Game On Challenge Mode. This is it, the final game on of the season. This week is my game. We're jumping in the world of VR for it. We're going to end off things a little differently. Right now the standings are Scott with 13, Nate has 12, I have 9, Corey has 7. We'll see what happens. Let's get going.
Specify the area.
3, 2, 1, go!
Agent 34, that bot has an energy rifle.
Oh, it's not a one-shot. Okay. Do a little bit of work here.
You just let go of them?
Oh. Oh, you just chuck the guns?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Down the street, Agent 34.
The city looks really good.
The graphics are
Oh, he's juggling them. Oh! Those two just hit each other.
I like how all these shots are like from the hip too. It's barely using the optic. Just has a feel for it.
Yeah, can you aim down sight?
Sure can.
Oh, that's it there.
Oh yeah, okay. I was gonna say I kind of wish we just had a normal iron sights, but
This guy's not even using both his shotgun shells.
do you have unlimited pistol ammo?
What's that?
Unlimited pistol ammo?
I can't hear you. Hang on.
No, you're good.
Oh, nice throw!
Oh yeah.
Well, those are gonna be the tough ones, those little spider ones. Oh, he's behind you. Oh, blows it up on the car. Oh, whips around for it. Oh yeah, not a chance, pal.
Triple barrel.
Whoa!
Oh, it's getting intense. $29 or $20.
Agent 34. 30 seconds.
Oh, that should have been a headshot.
Whip that.
That should have been a headshot of a gun whip. This guy's pistoling, shotgunning.
I don't know how you switch guns.
Age of 34.
Grab from the top.
With the inside
Go
buttons.
like that.
Yeah.
Only 10 more seconds.
Yeah, there's an inside.
That's how you like it.
Those are-
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What are those? Oh, the bullets.
The recalling criteria.
Life chip.
Life chip.
Yeah, there's a guy behind me.
Oh, so this gets a little more intense because it makes you move around a lot more.
I think you can move the whole, like the first section's everything.
Yeah, this one's just got more enemies
This is
coming at you.
making it, yeah.
360, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Can you catch your old gun? Yes, you can. Yes.
That is cool.
And we're officially playing Super Hot again. Oh, nails him with it. What's the percentage countdown?
This is the health of the thing you're spending.
Agent, 30 seconds left.
Okay. My relay.
Robo relay suffering damage.
Dodge.
Only 10 more seconds.
Oh, almost got him.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Ah, I gotta move.
Damage has Robo relay activated.
Oh, nicely done, Drew.
All right.
15%.
Oh man, I am not making it past this if Drew got 15% left on that thing. No way.
Mission
There you go. It's complete.
Oh, nice.
All right, see what the score is.
You're
710,398 is to beat. Do we draw a straw to see who's next?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get ready to go.
What's the grab again?
It's the
The
hand.
inside?
Yeah.
So is that more of just a full grip press?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, get rid of those spider things, bud.
Oh, those things are deadly.
Yeah, I'm gonna find myself with no guns in my hands often in this. I have
You
no
just
doubt.
hold on, right?
Yeah, I know. It's just like going to grab guns. Like I'm gonna come up empty for sure.
Yeah.
I want to take their gun because I saw you do that
You
once.
can, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yep. Oh, you had it.
What?
Oh, you're there.
How do I turn around, yo?
Push forward and then roll it, right? Push forward and roll your hand. Roll that thumbstick. There you go.
And then you'll face the direction you want to go. Ah.
But why is it? Oh.
You gotta lift it up. You gotta aim it, right? It's like a
Okay.
teleport system. There you go.
You should move soon.
Nice. Times 3, man. Rack up them points.
Is that the blue wall of?
Yep. You see that wall? You're too close. You gotta move over.
Okay.
90 seconds left.
Oh, okay.
Get your guns. Get your guns. Oh, grab them.
That's.
Oh, couldn't see that guy. Oh,
Oh, he grabs. Oh!
whoa!
Nice.
You just scored a pile of points there. You got 5 more to go, man.
60 seconds remaining.
There you go.
Oh, this guy, multiple fronts.
Throw 'em.
Keep screwing that up.
Oh, that's clutch.
Just gonna carry one with you the whole end.
The whole, just carry a robot with you the whole time.
This is George.
My friend. Here you go, buddy. You got the objective.
Nice catch. You gotta throw him. There you go.
Yeah.
30 seconds left.
Oh, somebody behind you. You can't turn around though. You gotta pivot, right? You have to move your controller.
This button.
Yeah.
That's good. You're good.
is really annoying, by the way. When you're a noob.
Yeah.
There you go. You got it, buddy. You got it. You're killing it, man.
Grab the dang gun, man!
Only 10 more seconds.
Whoa! Duck. That's it. There you go.
5, 4, 3,
Nice.
2, 1. You recalled enough products.
Nice objective.
All right,
complete.
objective complete. There you go.
I know what's wrong with that. You gotta do them completely separate.
Oh, are you doing both at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh.
What's both at the same time?
He's using both analog. Just use one at a time.
Oh,
All
one
you need is one to
the
move.
right analog stick.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
my
but both,
gosh!
both operate the same way, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
You can use the left one as well?
Yeah,
Or-
left or right. Don't use both of them.
Both those shotties, bro. There it is. There it is.
There you go.
Boom, boom.
Move to the intersection.
You got it on the left.
4,
Resume.
You gonna jump?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Nice.
the Robo Relay is taking damage.
Is it a one and done with the death on this?
I'm not sure. We're gonna possibly find out.
Oh,
We'll
we
see what happens.
100% will.
I don't know. Who knows?
It does seem forgiving.
It is pretty forgiving.
Yeah, oh yeah. I guess we need a master of the finger guns.
Robots are damaging.
Pitch it out like that.
Oh, can you just punch them too?
Oh yeah.
Just going in full melee.
You gotta dodge those red ones. The red ones you can't catch.
Remaining.
Is
Man.
gun grabbing is really awful sometimes.
Robo Relay has been destroyed.
Oh, nice
Oh,
try,
no.
man.
I blame it on the jank.
Agent 34.
No, I'm just kidding. It's really solid, man.
Please file a report.
Oh, he just comes up and knocks you out?
All right, see what your
punched me.
score is, Nate.
402.
So let's see with the multipliers and the bonuses. What are we at? 516.
It was one of the funniest things.
Oh man, it looks so much better in the VR too.
Yeah. It's a whole different
Agent
experience.
34. That bot has an
Shoot him, Scotty. Shoot him.
Oh, that's a weird
Nice
one.
headshot.
This guy stands in front of him like, no, shoot
You can
me.
grab those.
Oh, nice. Bullet throw. Oh, 2 bullets.
1, 2.
Give him the old 1-2.
I like the bullets, but I don't know how good the bullets are to throw back. Like, you catch them, but they don't seem to do that much damage.
No.
Yeah, not
More
really.
like a defense.
Yeah, it's
mechanism, I
basically
guess.
just to get it away from you,
It's
right?
just a cool feeling to grab the bullet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Later stages, they start shooting rockets at you. You actually grab the rocket and throw it back at them, and it opens up a weak spot.
Oh,
And you then shoot them there, yeah.
slick. What is that?
He's grabbing one of their guns.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Not as cool as I thought it'd be. You're coming with me. Oh no.
You should.
Oh, this is cool.
Sweet dodge. Watch that spider.
Just breathe.
move to the next objective.
That's great.
And take that.
Be careful,
Oh, big
Agent
guy.
34.
Yeah.
Sensors indicate something large heading your way.
All right. Don't worry, Corey. I greased him up for you.
That's what I was worried about. Thanks, buddy.
Dangerous creature, Agent 34.
Oh.
Agent, shoot the indicated weak spot.
Oh, that was close.
This bot has weak points on its back. As indicated.
Well, he gets in tight with the shotties.
Yeah.
I like the move.
Right up close. Yeah, move, Scott.
Oh. Did he get you with that?
I don't know what just
I think
hit
he
me.
did.
It seemed far away.
In a panel to take control
Well.
of the big bot. You can take control of his fists and
Fire laser cannon.
Try it now.
Oh, okay. How'd you grab the laser?
Right trigger, bro.
Oh, it's just on my hand.
To rotate while on the big bot, point
A
down
laser.
further.
Can I move too?
Rotate the
Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Whoa, never mind. Yeah.
Oh, lacing them up.
Oh man.
Look at his points.
Oh.
He's already at more points, almost more points than me. 5 coin. He's
516.
Yeah, not even 520.
I might lose this.
Yeah, because you didn't use the
use
laser.
the thing. You didn't notice. And he did the meat shield.
Moving around all over the place. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
There's got to be a satisfying feeling about it.
Yeah,
And throwing it back.
Robots are damaging.
Oh! Yo, can you just rip them in pieces?
Yeah.
That is awesome. Oh, wow.
He
The uns, Scott.
bodied dudes with body parts. This is great.
The robo relay is
Nice.
There goes my score.
Oh yeah. Out of the water, man.
he's right there.
This is out of the water score right
Was that
here.
guy cowering?
Yeah, he is scared of you.
As he should be.
Oh, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it does.
He did say he wanted to try that. Oh, I don't know what his percentage is at.
Oh, I love it.
That is awesome, man.
You're just using the body parts as ammo.
No!
So what does that mean? He's still?
I don't know. We'll see what he gets for a total of points.
Do you lose points?
I don't know. He did fail. See what happens.
He failed that portion, but he still completed the mission.
Yeah.
923. So what is it? 923.
854.
854.
You gotta hope, yeah, buddy.
You gotta-
gotta get that
we
laser.
got a new leader.
3, 2, 1, go!
Agent 34. That bot has an energy rifle.
Great!
Oh.
Hey, he's doing what I'm doing.
Takes a little getting used to.
Oh. Okay, let's get the feel for this, please. Thank you. Oh no.
There you go. Frantic.
60 seconds remaining. You should move soon.
Fighting for this beard, guys.
Oh man, this is crazy. This is insane. I don't even know where I'm standing. You guys over here?
Yeah. Turn right. There you go.
Perfect. Perfect.
This is the first time ever playing VR though.
Yeah.
Like ever. So.
Oh, man.
I knew this would be good.
This is like the best experience you could probably have for a first time VR.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is a better game to play than the first time I played VR. Even that much.
Agent
I had dreams about it.
Oh, there we go. He took his gun.
I like that. Is so cool, man. You just like grab them, tear off their head.
It was hard to tug it off, too. I tried it with, like, just grabbing it and pulling it away, and it didn't do it. You had to rip it. Same with bashing the two of them together.
It's like
You gotta really slam them, yeah.
Take a step backwards, Troy.
them from destroying the robo relay.
In real life.
There you go. Yeah.
Thank you.
Shortly.
She gets punched in
It'll
the
count down. It'll count down for you.
all right, buddy.
This is it.
3,
head. Yeah, my standoff to the side strat didn't really work.
suffering damage.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh no! Why can't I grab my goods?
90 seconds left.
Teleport and move.
Agent 34, keep moving.
There you go.
Damage has been inflicted on the robo relay.
Oh, get him.
Nice.
That was cool. Turn to sender.
Robots are damaging the robo relay.
You might be out of shotgun ammo. Oh, he beat me. Oh, I got left.
Taking damage.
Can he beat Drew's score? That still doesn't matter though.
Jeff becomes a second. We're tied there. Right?
Well,
Yeah.
well no, because you're gonna get 2 points.
Oh, you're...
Unless he beats you, I guess.
I had to come and run straight.
Yeah, you need to get last.
Robo relay suffering damage.
Oh, nice.
That's so
That
sick.
was awesome.
Could take it first, guys. You might do it.
I mean, really, I guess.
As far as I got with the laser sequence.
Corey, back up.
10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2.
The friggin' natural, man.
Robo relay online.
Oh! What's the real score?
All right, see what happens.
Not good enough.
How
We'll
you-
see.
We don't know what's
maybe.
multiplier.
Multiplyer's in there.
Oh man, I'm sweating.
Oh, he beat me!
You still won.
You didn't get first, you're so close.
If you beat Scott, you had it. That wraps up Game On Season 1. Standings now, I came in third. This was real close. Scott pulled ahead, though, with 16 points. Nate with 12. I went to 10. Corey went to 9. This close. Anybody
Say
wants-
goodbye, fellas. Say goodbye.
That's it. That was Game On. Let's head back to the show.
All right, Corey, let's hit up some lanes and gather some resources. All right, Corey, so we got our hands on Golem Gates, this kind of really interesting card game RTS style.
Yeah.
What did you think about this game?
Again, cool, kind of mixing two genres together. We got card collecting game and real-time strategy game. Two genres that I actually haven't gotten into in a while. I was a big Hearthstone guy. I played a ton of StarCraft when I was younger. That was pretty much my exposure to both of these genres. And this game seems to do a good job of kind of meshing the two together. I jumped into the campaign to start this one off, and what it kind of does is it sets this kind of a post-apocalyptic environment up, and we have a Harbinger, which is kind of the main character, and he's the powerful unit that kind of spawns all the other units around on the map, but he's the one guy that you have to protect, because if you lose him in the battle, then it's over. And what you're actually trying to do is go destroy the Golem Gates that the other opposite team is holding, and you're trying to also get rid of their Harbinger as well. They have one, and they're also making units kind of at the same time. And the way you make the units, and this is kind of where the two genres mesh together, is you actually get a deck of cards that you can create before you go into battle. So with this customization option with building decks is something I like.
Yes.
And you can pick, you know, as few cards as you want or as many cards as you want, because what happens in this game is slowly over time, you actually start with 5 cards, and as you use them up, they slowly just start getting picked out of your deck.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of cool because they get picked at random, so this is where kind of building the decks comes into play. You want to make sure that
a lot of strategy.
Yeah, you're putting the right cards in there because you don't want cards coming up that you can't use, because in this game what I noticed, if you're not continually building units to kind of achieve the moving forward, collecting different mana nodes around the map, which actually the mana is what you use to use your cards, and it slowly builds up over the course of battle. and each unit kind of costs so much mana to use. So in this one, it's a lot of kind of strategy, and for me, I actually really enjoyed this.
Yeah, man, I thought it was really cool. It's simple enough because there's only one resource. You have to go out and collect these resource nodes, and the more you have, the quicker you gain. So that's the whole objective. You want to collect as many resource nodes as fast as possible and defend them. So that is really cool. But another thing that kind of you were saying about the deck is, what I thought was interesting that I've never seen in a game is once you've burned all your cards, you get to shuffle your deck.
Ooh, but there's a penalty.
Yes, and this is what I thought was really cool. So when you choose to shuffle your deck, there's a 15-second period where you cannot do anything. You're at basically your opponent's mercy.
So the main campaign of the game is actually comprised of 15 total missions where you're kind of slowly starting to figure out the story in this one, and the idea is your Harbinger is being tasked with kind of purging the bad from this post-apocalyptic world. And when I say post-apocalyptic, it certainly looks that way. This map has all those kind of features, right? Everything's kind of broken down and it's kind of futuristic a little bit. But what I did find is that it's kind of dark.
It is very dark.
Because there's a fog of war effect in this game where you can only really see where your units are, or where you have holding different positions on the map. So you'll see that fog kind of lift. And those are the only places you can build units and also just visually see, because the rest of the map is then dark. And then when you kind of couple that with dark features of the map already, I found you kind of almost lose some of your units sometimes because of the environment itself.
Yeah, and you want to know what? This game graphically is actually beautiful.
If you zoom in and actually look at the characters and the models in the game, they look really good.
It is a really impressive RTS style game, for sure. But it does take away from the graphics when it's a little just too dark.
Yeah, you don't.
And then you're like you were saying before too to me, is you lose your units.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So you end up building, you can build quite a few units at once, especially if you let that mana meter really build up. You can get a lot of characters or a lot of units down on the map at once. And when they start to clash with enemy units, I almost lose where these particular units are, because every unit has different stats. So you want to use them a certain way, right? You might have your big tank unit, and you've got smaller support units, things like that. But what I notice is when they start to mesh together, then I start to lose where everybody is. So I ended up just kind of like mass clicking on everybody and just getting them to attack one person. I was like, I don't know who's doing what, but I'm winning, so it's just going to keep going that way. But that's kind of something I didn't really enjoy.
That is true, but one nice thing that they did do is that you can navigate just by clicking up and down, and on the left side of your screen, it shows each individual unit pack. So you'd be like, oh, I'm on this select unit.
And that's true.
There is that, but still, it adds a lot of chaos when you have a bunch of units on you have to click up and down a bunch.
And then you're just jumping through camera angle. So if we got to wrap this one up and you got to score Golem Gates, what are you going to give this one?
Honestly, I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a solid game. It's worth its value.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know what? I enjoyed this game. Like I said, kind of a fan of both genres. Haven't played them in a while. Now that I've got a game that kind of meshes the two together, it looks good. It sounds good. I thought the gameplay was great. There are some things that they could change, but overall, I thought this was a really great game. So I'm actually going to give it a 7.5 as well.
Nice.
Golem Gates is a great mesh between your classic card collecting game and a real-time strategy game. They managed to seamlessly integrate the drawing of the cards into the point-and-click action of this title. I did find some areas of the map looked kind of dark, and it was hard to find your units when they engaged in combat sometimes.
Victory.
Scott, we're the rise and the fall in the industry.
For an enterprising tycoon, each new day brings new opportunities.
Scott, you and I jumped into what we typically would think would be a city builder, but Rise of Industry has a different twist.
It's an industry builder.
Exactly, which kind of I was looking forward to, but it kind of caught me off guard with the amount of micromanagement in this game.
It's a little weird, yeah, and it's not your typical builder. We'll just say builder.
Well, you go into SimCity, right? You plan your roads, and you go industry on this side, commercial on this side. But this is actually, it starts you with the city.
Mm-hmm. So and then the city is already there.
But there's another city, and then another city, and another city, and what you have to do is actually provide for all these cities.
Yeah, so it's a very indirect kind of city builder. You, instead of placing buildings and kind of letting the people move in, you kind of put everything else there and let the buildings move in and grow, and your cities get bigger. So you're managing these demands in the city. It sounds a little dry already, but this is there will be something like a farmer's market or a hardware store in your city that you choose to be at, and you have to provide for them. And then once you provide for them, you want to reach out and provide for other cities, kind of get your money going, establish a company. That's your overall goal, is to get a distribution company going.
But it's it's a lot of work to do that, though, right? That's the problem. And I honestly, so I did the tutorial, and I was completely confused.
Yeah.
After I did the tutorial, which was supposed to help me play the game.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives you just the bare minimum of how to kind of pick where to move things up, and you don't even know the importance of the actions it shows you in the tutorial at the starting. So. It's definitely a hurting tutorial, but after a couple videos that I watched, luckily there's people explaining it to me.
But that's the saddest aspect. If I have to go watch someone else play the game to explain how to play it, it kind of defeats the purpose of me trying to play the game in the first place. So watch someone else do it, so then I can figure out how to play the game.
Well, and funny enough,
the tutorial system isn't really that polished.
No, and funny enough, the person even I was watching ran into the same problem I would, bankrupted themselves after about 50 minutes, and then didn't really have too much to go from there. So it does not do a good job at telling you kind of how to start. I figured out now you're supposed to just spend your money on and blow it all immediately, collect a loan, and then use that to keep yourself going. So it costs money to make money, and that's one lesson that I keep learning in this game.
That's how the saying goes, right? It costs money to make money, but the way you do it, I was actually making money in the beginning, and then all of a sudden I was like, there goes 60,000, and another 60, and I'm like, where's all this money coming? Like, where's that going? I'm just sinking. Right from the get-go. I was 5 minutes into the game. I was 60 grand light, and then it just keeps rolling.
Oh, yeah.
I was blown away of how well I started, and then just how quickly I sank.
Yeah, and without too much direction, you're gonna try that. Maybe that's a half-hour startup. You're gonna repeat that half hour time and time again until you just kind of start to grow.
Yeah.
So I did get into some growth in my cities. I started providing for the 2 towns that were there, and then a third would pop up. And you have to keep your tech tree going constantly so you can deal with whatever the next thing is.
Which is a lot of research involved, which then takes more time.
Yeah, which means you're just bleeding money the whole time.
Because you're waiting for their research to finish, because it's 120 days for some of these things to actually finish the research.
And there's probably 120
somebody got to be smarter than that to research this crap so I can get started on my city here, because I'm just losing money. Oh, it is. I love the foundation, I love the concept, and I actually feel that this game is for somebody.
Yeah.
But it's not for me, because I found this more of a struggle than anything else to actually build and learn the game, which was just, it's not fun when you're when you're struggling to learn a game like this.
And maybe if it just had a couple paragraphs to kind of explain to you your perspective in all of this, or the cities are going to grow despite what you do, and you want to keep up with just any sort of kind of narrative would have helped out a lot. But it just drops you into this city. Now, the only thing that I can say is that this game does really look pretty nice.
I like the style.
I like the style. It kind of reminds me of another city builder we played a little while ago, and then but it's way more detailed and way more complicated.
Oh, that's what I mean. This is for someone that likes. It almost feels like an RPG of a city builder.
That's a good way of thinking about it. Yeah.
That's kind of the approach I took to it, because there's so many skill trees, and then you're looking to not craft things per se, but if you're going to relate it to an RPG, you're going to kind of go into that system, right? And then you're going to look for other resources. But you start with a farmer's market, which is your basic, and the thing
you're selling all your raw product.
Exactly. That's your essential startup, is this farmer's market, which allows you to get poultry, and then you're getting into milk, and you're getting into the farmers, and then all this other stuff, right?
Grapes, barley,
exactly.
And then you have a brewery. But to do anything in that game, you have to research so many different aspects to that item to be able to provide it to the city that you're with. And it's very disconnected. It doesn't seem very normal. Now, it makes sense. You get sugar and you get water, and then you can make juice.
But the windows that popped up too with all of that thing.
Oh yeah, and every building has a window and a pane that you have to go through to
More
choose.
windows.
Oh yeah, more
Just everywhere, man.
to choose just to send something to another town. And
I just want to send some eggs over to that city. How hard can this be?
But to do that, you need a warehouse to get all the water for the chickens to bring that to the farm, and then the farm brings it to the warehouse, and then the warehouse
you need a
brings
distribution
it to the city.
center.
Or you put up a truck depot, which costs a ton of money. Now you're broke, but now you can send those eggs or whatever.
There goes my 60,000 again.
To the other city and maybe not make that much money on it. So it's so disconnected and hard to tell where you are in the whole process. It's so rough to get into.
Scott, where are you with Rise of Industry? Where are you scoring this one?
Now, I have to agree with you. It is definitely for somebody, and I see the quality there.
Yeah.
Visually, audio, the details there. I know it's a good game, but it's just hard, so hard for me to get into.
Yep.
But I want to.
I know, that's the thing. I love these sort of games, but it just didn't pull me in.
No, I want to see my city build, but if I have to cut that short, I think I have to give it about a 5.5, because it's just so disconnected, and it's not the kind of builder I wanted, but I thought it was. It's just misleading, kind of.
Scott, I didn't rise with my industry. I more like fell and tanked with my industry. I'm there with a 4.
Rise of Industry is an excellent economic simulator, but unfortunately with little tutorial, we just had a hard time getting into it.
You are an industrialist, and success is in your blood. And who knows what the next new day will bring in Rise of Industry.
In this VR title, I tick off the mob.
What do I want? Your operation. He's not going to start an all-out war. He's not big enough.
I'm going to go and find out.
You're just going to walk in there.
First of all, a big shout out and a thanks to PlayStation for sending us this title. We were talking about Blood and Truth on the PlayStation VR, an exclusive, hands-on, first-person shooter that honestly feels like I'm playing a AAA title with a huge, massive story in a VR game. This kind of feels like this is the next evolution of VR. This is where everybody wants to take that Red Dead experience, Assassin's Creed, that big over-the-top, over-budgeted game, and now it's brought to VR. It's not that long like a VR title kind of typically is, in around a few hours, a couple hours, 6 hours, but it is longer than most. It's not an experience. I wouldn't say Blood and Truth is an experience, more of an actual AAA title on the VR. We play as Ryan Marks. He's kind of run into some trouble. He's an athletic guy who's been in the military, and he's gone home to see his family for a couple issues. Some things go south. You were sucked back involved with the mob and fighting off the mafia. And the way the gun mechanics work are pretty simple. It makes total sense if you have the wands. The move controllers are your best options. Try not to use the controller itself. If you want to get the full experience of VR, you should be using those wands and moving those around. I find you do have to turn it a little bit to shoot down the sights, which is kind of awkward. It doesn't work perfectly, and sometimes because you sit when you play this game, you actually strafe sideways. So instead of turning like you would normally, because you don't stand, you don't actually pivot. You just sit still. So if you hit the center button, it actually moves you. And that's how you move and kind of traverse around the world. But when you sometimes, I've actually kind of just moved sideways. It was weird. It was really awkward. Either way, let's check out some gameplay. You take a look, you look in the direction you want to head to. We're going to plant a bomb.
Okay.
We're going to plant several bombs. There we go.
Activated. Needs a good spread of C4 around the room.
It'll duck automatically for you. You don't have to. We're already sitting, so there's not much we can do. And here comes the power again. All right, got that, and there. We're all set. I think we maybe pick some of these guys up. What?
Here we go.
Got him? Got. Yeah, you're dead too.
Need a hole in the head.
Not really. So you can duck around these corners. Let's get over here maybe. Hey, you're dead. Ah.
Don't just stand there.
Oh. Haha. That feels great. Yeah.
He's coming for me.
It's not a bad gun either.
He's catching up. Oh God.
Don't shoot Ryan. Lead us to Tony.
All right, all right.
All right, so things are gonna go south here.
I don't know.
Well, that's the end of that. Run. No beating him. Moments like this are throughout the entire game, which actually feels like that movie, that James Bond espionage spy thriller. This is Blood and Truth. Let's head to the score. There's the gameplay. You just saw it. You saw how I traversed around the world, shot a bunch of guys, had a great time. This is at AAA. The characters are fantastic. The voiceover sometimes is a little over anxious. They feel a little kind of overdone at times, to be honest. It is a solid game though. This is probably one of the best experiences I've had in the world of VR. It's a fantastic game. Intensity level is something I'm touching on a lot now with these titles because motion sickness is such a big influence on what happens and what kind of games you want to pick up. Because you sit still and you're not actually moving around, you're kind of just, you're traversing, but it's not a big push all of a sudden, and you're not just jumping or running all at once. Sometimes you go into these slow-mo cinematics, you're busting through some glass, when you get that John Wick kind of thing, you go woo, and you go in slow-mo, and then you're shooting a bunch of guys. It's a fantastic title. Definitely a must-have if you are a PlayStation VR owner. One of the best on the system. I'm giving Blood and Truth an 8.5.
Goes in the streets of London. That goes in the London city. That goes in the streets of London. That got to be something with me. Today a legend is born. Ready for vengeance rather than war. Ready for anything, ready for war. My English gangster, I'm dead for sure.
Simply one of the best AAA titles on the PlayStation VR. You have that James Bond feeling with gadgets, gameplay, and slow-mo action. However, the aiming of the gun can feel off. And why am I walking sideways?
We're finished.
Corey, we're jumping into a new reality. Corey, you and I did something a little unique this week because we jumped into a game on our phones.
Yeah, mobile game.
Yeah,
this is new territory for us.
Yeah, it's a little out of the norm, that's for sure. But we had the opportunity to jump into Reality Clash. What'd you think?
So I haven't played many games like this where it's augmented reality on your phone. It reminds me, it's funny to say, but it reminds me a lot of Pokemon Go.
Yes,
and
it has
Call
that
of
aspect.
Duty.
Well, it's got a unique twist. So I played a lot inside because I was on my Wi-Fi. Yeah. Right? So as I'm panning, it pans the room. So it scans the area you're in.
Yes.
And then kind of places it in the augmented world, which is like, you know,
it almost looks like a laser tag arena once the world kind of appears before you on your phone.
It kind of reminds me of when they brought that unique little Metal Gear Solid VR, AR reality kind of game mode, right? Mm-hmm. So it was in addition to the game, but this is kind of how this game works, and you're then shooting against other opponents within the world. So then I'm shuffling around like one of the walls and stuff, so I can get out of fire, and then I come back, I'm like leaning out, kind of.
Oh, I know it.
But I'm on my phone. It's so small. And I'm trying to bang, like shoot the buttons and stuff. It was cool. It was a unique twist to something I don't normally play.
Yeah, and something we've never really looked at or played before. So when you said check this game out, and I was standing in the basement and I fired it up and the world kind of appears before me. I'm like, all right, this is kind of cool, and it transitions fairly seamlessly from what your phone's camera's actually seeing, and then you see the world kind of kind of wipe through, and then it pops up, and then you see your opponent. And what I thought in this one was kind of neat is that because they want you to kind of travel around outside, is that you got your 3 main factions, and you get put in one from the beginning once you start the game up. The whole idea is to try to control points, and you're just basically trying to help your team. And the nice thing is there's so many different options. I noticed there's a lot of guns in the armory that I found, and there's a lot of training involved when it comes to that. You can kind of go in and train with each gun to get the feel for it, because what I noticed in these combats is that they're kind of slow. But I understand because of the game we're playing that it's not going to be something like, I'm not playing somebody in real time necessarily. I'm playing somebody's character that has certain stats, and then we go against each other in that form, and then they kind of shift around behind these things. There's a little bit of an arrow indicator, but I found it doesn't take many hits to go down in this game, and I was going down more than I like. So I was trying to figure out the gun combinations I wanted to use, and I actually settled in on this sniper rifle, which did a lot of damage. The reload time was definitely killer, but I found myself doing a lot of ducking and leaning down low, and like you said, you're peeking around corners. So there's a lot of aspects in this game that are something that we've never done before, and it was a lot of fun when you kind of just did it. Maybe not a game that's you're playing for hours, but you jump in, play a couple things, try to control a couple points for your team, collect a couple of guns, a little bit of resources, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, I like the style of the game. It's something new for myself to jump into. I had a good time when I was there. I'm out looking at my nodes, and I'm clicking on nodes, I'm bouncing over here, and then all of a sudden I see one comes up, and I actually had to physically go to the park. I'm like, no, I ain't doing that. So I went and picked a different node because it was way over there, and I was walking over there. I was busy kind of working on the game here, right? But it was cool. And then it's the way it scans the area and just kind of transitions into the world. I thought it was fantastic. I felt the guns were accurate. They worked really well. It was simple, just a push of the button. Like sometimes when you play these games, they don't react the way you expect them to.
No, this one was fairly smooth. Like
it's very smooth.
You swipe left to aim down sight, and you swipe left, and it pops up pretty quick. No matter if it's a scoped weapon or you're looking down the iron sights. And then you've got your down swipe for reload. So everything was fairly intuitive. Like you said, it was smooth. So it didn't feel like you were lagging up because of the game. Like we said, the pace of the game is a little bit slower than you would think when you're looking at a first-person shooter. But it really does fit with the style of game that this is, and I thought it was executed fairly well.
No, I like Reality Clash. Corey, what are you scoring this one?
I thought the music in this one was pretty good. The audio was really good. The guns sounded cool. I like the visual, how the world appeared before your eyes kind of thing. I thought this was a solid mobile game. Bit of a battery drain, I noticed, on the newer phones. I'm going to give this one a 7.
You know what? I'm right there with you. I like this game. Feel that a lot this episode. Everybody's kind of on the same page. We got a lot of good things in the go. So Reality Clash for me, I'm there with the 7 as well.
Nice.
Reality Clash manages to mesh the world of augmented reality and first-person shooter pretty seamlessly. With the ability to challenge friends or try your luck against AI opponents, you'll find yourself customizing your loadouts and traveling to real-world locations to capture points for your team. But you better bring your power bank to keep your device charged because it has a high battery demand.